Hey, I welcome you to this channel. I'm Mr. Review, and this is Save Your Money Reviews. Today we'll be going over a few quick takes on movie news and shows. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. So today I wanted to get into the Star Wars brand as a whole, with the movies that they decided to do and then also the TV shows that they have coming and have already released. So let's get to it. So I want to start off by saying, if anyone's out there who is a Star Wars, a fan of Star Wars, or maybe even not a fan of Star Wars, if you're into TV, just great TV shows, good media, good entertainment, good material, The Mandalorian is one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's one of my favorite shows. Of course, before it came out, I heard some things about it, saw some trailers, things like that. I can be honest with you 100%. I wasn't very excited about it. Of course, I was willing to give it a chance, though, and see what they decided to go with. But once I started watching it and really got into it, it was one of the best choices I've ever made as far as TV. The Mandalorian delivered literally every season it has come out with so far. I believe it's two seasons so far, and they're about to release the third season at this point. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, so that if anyone's out there who has not seen The Mandalorian yet, any of the seasons, go ahead and check that out. The story, even the lead character is amazing. They did great writing for the universe. They did great writing for cinematography, the way everything's lined up, the scenes, the editing, the dialogue, the characters, the character development. All those things are within the show. You're going to get the full scale of things. There's emotional scenes. There's action scenes. There's relationship building scenes with characters. There's history between, if you're into getting into the Mandalorian history, they certainly touch bases on that, all that. Mando as a character is probably one of the best leads that I've seen in a while. Definitely for that type of content. When it comes down to kind of like that mystic type of travel, type of spacey universe type of shows. It's amazing. Mando does a great job. He's a great character. Uh, Baby Yoda is like the icing, sprinkles to the cake. He's amazing. Just that character, introducing that character to us and allowing him to be so childish, but also yet you can see the potential of his power, things like that. So that brings a lot of excitement to the universe, Star Wars as a whole. Honestly, at this point, I believe Star Wars probably works best as a TV show, like just kind of getting to different stories, different characters, allowing you to see that development on the universe and seeing more of the universe. I think that's probably where the best route Star Wars can go as a brand. Of course, I think at this point, if you're really a hardcore fan, have seen the other previous movies, you definitely want it still to flourish as a movie brand. But right now, they have, in my opinion, let us down. Check back on some of my reviews. I did a review on Star Wars, the latest one they came out with. Gave you my take on it and how I felt about it. So if you guys, want to get my review on the last movie they dropped, certainly check out the history on this channel, find that video, and go ahead and check it out. And I'll get more in depth into my feelings with the Star Wars movie trilogy, the newest trilogy, and what was wrong with it. So my opinion is that they got it right with the Force Awakens, but the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, they decided to go a totally different direction, and it just didn't hit right. It didn't fit the story that it was initially told. It didn't fit the characters how they were initially introduced with that trilogy. So Star Wars writers, directors, all that was involved in that didn't do justice to the history of Star Wars. They didn't do justice to Luke Skywalker as a character. They didn't do justice to the finish of his story arc. Now, I'm not against fully about the direction they decided to go as far as him not wanting to be involved with the Jedi thing again. Because I'm cool with that because that's something you wouldn't expect. So they wanted to kind of put a new spin to the character, give you a new direction of where he is now currently versus where he was at the time of the original movies. But again, the way they decided to execute that arc, they failed miserably, and that's what ultimately, not just that, but that's just that's just one of the things on the list of problems with the new trilogy. Didn't deliver. Like I said, The Force Awakens is the only great thing about that trilogy. The last two movies of that trilogy weren't good at all. And again, it wasn't true to the original source material of how they introduced those characters, themes, and story arcs. It just didn't. You could tell there was a lot of hands in the pot. Those hands weren't good hands to put in the pot, but whoever initially wrote The Force Awakens did great. They went the right direction. They captured and embodied the whole essence of Star Wars, even the originals to some of those newer ones with episode 1, 2, and 3. They kind of continued that and evolved it. But as far as after that film, it just didn't execute properly. And that's where it went downhill. So if you guys agree with that, let me know. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comments of your opinion about the trilogy. But mine is that they ruined it with the last two movies. The Force Awakens, in my opinion, was the best out of the three. And it wasn't a bad film at all, even just outside of that trilogy. It was a good film. Even, Rey as a character, Finn, Poe, they did some great introduction characters that I felt like could have flourished in the later films. Unfortunately, the writers weren't able to capitalize on that for whatever reason. I felt like that was pretty much easy to do. And then Kylo Ren, I felt like was a great, newer version villain that they could have capitalized on and made him even better for the last two films. But again, they failed to do so. Not sure why. I felt like, again, as a writer, as a creative, that should have been an easy thing to do. But, when you get the wrong hands in the pot, that's what can happen. So right now, I'm not excited to see any new future films unless they decide to go whole complete direction differently and get the best writers in there to do it. Someone who has knowledge and love for the history of the Star Wars, they're able to come in there and make sure the focus is in the right direction for what they decide to continue to do. They're not going to do any of the above, then they might as well just let it go as far as film wise and just stick to TV shows. But again, I would hate to not ever see a Star Wars movie again. I would also even hate for them to reboot it. They have to find a way to kind of right the ship, fix the story, and get that thing back on the road because that's just an easy sell there that they can do. For some reason, they weren't able to execute with those last two movies. As far as TV show wise, they're doing good. They have The Mandalorian again, which is one of the best shows, period, even outside of Star Wars. Again, if you're not a fan, check those shows out anyways, and I believe 100% that you won't be disappointed. Also, that we have the Boba Fett show that came out. I believe just one season so far. Wasn't too excited about it due to the fact that I felt like the Mandalorian pretty much gave us that access to the universe, gave us that access to new storytelling. Kind of just was refreshing to get new characters, new stories, new developments. Boba Fett is something that was an original movie, so it just kind of like bringing back that old type of character and rehashing that. But I felt like watching it, them adding the Mandalorian story within Boba Fett story was genius. I felt like it made the show a little bit better, more worth, the watch. It also expanded upon, Mando's relationship with Boba Fett and also, of course, Baby Yoda is in there as well. So that just, again, toppings, icing to the cake. So that was a great decision to kind of blend that in there. Then you get Luke Skywalker, which you can't beat that. Anytime you get to see him back in the day where, some of those movies didn't display what he did after, those first three movies, you kind of get that taste of what he was doing, what he was about, his mentality, his character, things like that. So they did a great job again with Boba Fett. I don't think it's as great as The Mandalorian, but it's good TV. I'm not saying, hey, go watch it anyways if you're not a Star Wars fan. But once you watch The Mandalorian and if you love it and like it, then I think you should watch Boba Fett because again, it's pretty much like a Mandalorian season almost, a half season of Mandalorian. So certainly get that within there.
Also, I'm going to do a separate review on the Obi-Wan Kenobi solo TV show that came out this year. Of course, when they announced it, a lot of fans were excited about that, including myself. Just to get a chance to see the backstory on Obi-Wan and also Darth Vader's relationship and how it got to the point on the original movies. You kind of didn't get to see that until now, so it was a very exciting news to hear that they were doing a solo Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And just for extra kicks, they were bringing back the original actors who played Obi-Wan, of course, and Darth Vader, or aka Anakin Skywalker, in the original episodes 1 through 3. Of course, Anakin, the actor, didn't start until this episode 2 and 3, which was Hayden Christensen. And then, of course, you have Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that was making it even more exciting to see. Especially bringing them back, the OGs of the series, to kind of continue that story. add more lore to film and of course TV shows. So I was very excited to see it, but like I said, I'll give you guys a separate review on that on another video coming soon. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe, comment, like, and stay tuned for future updates on that.
But as a whole, like I said, there's just some things they got to get right with the movie series. If they're deciding to bring that back, there's some things they're going to have to correct in order for me as a fan to be excited for it. But again, TV wise, show wise, I'm excited for what they have coming next. I think they're doing a great job, and kudos to the writers for The Mandalorian. I feel like whoever did that should be doing the movies because they know how to write the character, they know how to flesh out the universe of Star Wars, they know how to bring that essence and energy from those original films. And I think they're doing a great job and also evolving it and making it feel refreshing. So in the comments, let me know if you guys agree with my take as far as the brand of Star Wars as a whole, it being TV show versus movies. Also, let me know if you guys enjoyed the new trilogy. Maybe, maybe I haven't talked to the right people who might actually like what the direction they went. Let me know in the comments. And again, if you're looking for more of a review on the new trilogy, check my previous videos. There's certainly a review on the latest movie Star Wars came out with, and I give you my opinion on that in more detail. All right, beautiful people, don't forget to like and leave a comment. Let me know what you're excited for and maybe some upcoming stuff that I missed. Have a blessed day, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the latest in reviews, news, and updates. I'm Mr. Review, here to help you save, never lose. Toodles.